less than a postage stamp a week. Startmail.com. It's email you can trust.
Teachers hand out homework to reinforce the day's lessons and build character, and many kids spend several hours on homework each night. But a new study shows that primary school homework actually offers no real benefit and has only limited results for students at the junior high level. Researchers looked at 10,000 children in various countries, comparing the academic performance of those who did homework and those who did not. They found that only juniors and seniors in high school benefited from doing homework, and even then, only slightly. Maybe it's time to lighten the homework load so kids can spend more time with the key educators in their lives, their parents. I'm Dr. Katherine Albrecht for Start Mail. Get a 7-day free trial today.
This is the Dr. Katherine Albrecht Show.
Raise a signal flag on a bare hilltop. Call up an army against Babylon. Raise a signal flag on a bare hilltop. Call up an army against Babylon. Wave your hand to encourage them. Wave your hand to encourage them. As they march into the palaces of the high and mighty. I, the Lord, have dedicated these soldiers for this task. Yes, I have called mighty warriors to express my anger. Yes, I have called mighty warriors to express my anger. And they will rejoice when I am exalted.
Hello, good afternoon. Katherine Albrecht here. All right, I think I got it all straight. All right, so as you know or may not know, I am live streaming on YouTube. You can head on over to YouTube and join the 20 subscribers who have managed somehow to find a YouTube page that I never announced. Didn't let anybody know it was there other than on this show, but you're welcome to cruise on over and watch the work in progress, as this time I am going to do everything I can to make sure that no microphones remain muted throughout the show. So that's my big project today. The last couple of shows I have, there's been at least one segment where something was muted, but not this time around, so I'm going to try to get it right. All right, so today it is September 16th, 2025, and I have in my hand something I've been waiting for some time. It just arrived today. I opened the box with trembling hands and found this book, which if you're on YouTube, you can see it. And for those of you who cannot see me, which is most everyone listening, I will tell you what it is. It's the book by Eliezer Yudkowsky. It is called If Anyone Builds It, Everyone Dies. Now, I'm all excited, and it's a pretty depressing topic, so I don't mean to be, quite glib and, make light of the topic of the book. This is a topic that artificial intelligence poses an existential threat to humanity that I've been working on for the last year. So nothing in this message is new for me. It may be new for you, and it may be new for the people who I encourage to get a copy of this book. If anyone builds it, everyone dies. Eliezer Yudkowsky, I first ran across him through his op-ed written in Time magazine. If you go to my website at katherine-albrecht.com, in the menu, there is a section. It's third down. It's got About, which tells a little bit about me. It's got Radio Show, which has the live chat window where you can come and join us during 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 to 3 p.m. Colorado time when the show is live. You can chat with us in the window there. And then the third link down says Fight Against AI. And if you click that, let me tell you what you'll see. A couple things on that website or on that page. The first one, where was Katherine for 7 years? If you are one of the many listeners who listened to me for many, many years as I fought against RFID and other forms of privacy invasion as I traveled around the world, actually, and gave speeches and testimony and wrote legislation and held protests outside of Walmart and did boycotts against Gillette and Benetton, all those sorts of things that I did. Then, like many people, you may have wondered what in the world happened to Katherine between 2017 and 2024. And this answers that question. So that's all in there. It probably should be in my About section. I'll see if I can reorganize this. But right now it's in the Fight Against AI section. So if you'd like to know what happened to me for 7 years and why I'm back now and how I got back and the incredible story of what God has done, you can read that there. Now, the second link down, now again, I'm on Katherine-Albrecht.com. Someone squatted on my non-hyphenated website. Katherine-Albrecht.com. In the menu bar, go down to Fight Against AI. First, where was Katherine 7 years? Second, why I am fighting AI. All right, now let me tell you about this one. And here's what I wrote. This Time Magazine op-ed. How do I put that over in my streaming window? I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. I'll get, right now I'm just trying to not mute the cameras or not mute the microphone. So I'll figure out how to easily pop things over there so you can see them as we go forward. But anyway, this is, you can't see it, but it is a Time Magazine op-ed. It is an editorial piece that is written by the author of this book, Eliezer Yudkowsky. He is one of Time Magazine's top 100 most influential people in artificial intelligence. So he is not whistling Dixie here. He's a guy who knows what he's talking about. And I linked this back when my website was just a couple of pages or even just a couple links. This was one of the very first things to go on my website. And this is the article. If you've heard my story of what happened to me last year, I was like running around approaching complete strangers in supermarkets going, AI is AI. I was like, I remember the poor guy in Cape Cod who was buying cold medicine for his wife, and I accosted him, waylaid him there in the aisle, and had a 10-minute conversation about artificial intelligence, after which he said, and had this very dazed look on his eyes as he went back with the cold medicine. So I'm no longer doing that. I did not yet have a radio program, so I didn't really have a place to voice these concerns. But I remember the same thing happened years ago when I first stumbled across RFID tags. I had a little vial. In fact, I still have it at home. Maybe I'll bring it in now that I'm streaming. I can show it to you guys. I had a little, how would I describe it? What's like that? You ladies who wear, no, that won't work. Anyway, like a little glass vial. I'll have to bring it in. It's a little cylindrical glass vial with a black plastic lid, and in it was water. And floating around in the water were tiny, tiny, tiny little black specks that look like river silt. It looked like, if you've ever been panning for gold, the little flecks that might be in there. That's what it looks like. That's what, if you've ever seen gold flecks in a touristy gift shop that are in a little vial, that's exactly what it was. So in there they had the RFID tags, the little tiny microchips that were so small, and each of which contained a unique ID number with enough numbers encoded into it that you could number every grain of sand on planet Earth without any repeats. And that was all encoded into that tiny little speck. And I remember being on an airplane and having this with me, and I had just found out that they were doing this, and I spent the entire flight probably scaring the person next to me absolutely to death, going, "See this file? Look at this! Look at these little tags, these little dots!" And they're gonna. So anyway, both AI felt very similar to that experience of the sky is falling and nobody knows it, and I gotta warn the world. So when you have the job of, I guess, warning the world, and you're not really sure how to go about it, you start approaching people on airplanes and in aisles at the supermarket. So fortunately now I have a program, radio program that you are listening to, so I can warn people. I also have my website at Katherine-Albrecht.com, and I am coming out with a book. People who are astute and paying attention to the calendar know that today, September 16th, is my deadline for having my book proposal done. Is it done? Mostly. Am I going to be up till midnight doing nothing but that? Absolutely. But I will have it done by the stroke of midnight. that is just going to happen. So I've been working pedal to the metal on that to warn people about artificial intelligence and the bigger picture of technology in general, and the bigger picture of the spiritual connections or menace that is involved in this stage of humanity and technology in general. All right, so so Eliezer Yudkowsky, this article on Time Magazine, this op-ed, is what caused me to be approaching people in the supermarket. When we were driving out to, regular listeners know that I spent a lot of time out at the solar farms here in rural Michigan. And on my first trip out to the solar farm, the day after Christmas, so December 26th, I had this article printed out, and 5 ladies, I think it was 5 different local council members and treasurers and women involved in local politics, and they invited me to accompany them on a several-hour drive out to the solar field. And I read them this article in the truck. So they were in the pickup truck, and I'm like, cool, I got a captive audience for 2.5 hours. I'm just going to read you ladies something. So back in December, I didn't have my show back on the air yet, so that's the kind of thing I was doing. But this is the guy who I guess was the equivalent of Katherine Albrecht going, there's this thing called RFID, you need to know about it, it's dangerous. Eliezer Yudkowsky has been sounding that alarm for years now. Absolutely excited that this book is out. Haven't had a chance to read it yet. The most important book of the decade by physics professor at MIT, Max Tegmark. Decade, you think? Like ever? Humanities history? All right. Anyway, I'll be right back. I'll tell you more about it. Stay tuned.
Why are most email programs free? Companies use them as bait to lure people into their system so they can scan their data and sell them to advertisers. It's like a hotel giving out free rooms so they can film people sleeping and then sell the video. You'd never agree to that. StartMail restores your privacy. No one but you sees your sensitive data, and it costs less than a postage stamp a week. StartMail.com. It's email you can trust. Your email is your business. But if it's spied on, hacked, or intercepted, it can fall into the wrong hands. The solution is encryption, a high-tech way to scramble your data so no one can read it. For years, only the technical elite could use this powerful tool until StartMail came along. StartMail not only lets you encrypt the email you send, it encrypts your entire account. Encryption. It's just one more way StartMail.com keeps you safe.
Hi, this is Joe Jaquin, owner of the Patriot Trading Group. I'm sure you're probably aware of the reputations of many of the precious metals dealers here in the Front Range. I talk to customers all the time that know gold and silver are strong investments, that they are a hedge against a volatile economy. But these customers don't know where to buy gold and silver and are very justifiably concerned that they'll get ripped off. So I want to make you this promise. At Patriot Trading Group, there are no commission salespeople. We don't make outbound phone calls. We don't try to upsell you into some scam or package that we created. We don't disclose your information to anyone ever. The majority of our business comes from referrals and long-time repeat customers. If you're looking to learn about or invest in precious metals, give us a call at 800-951-0592 or go to allamericangold.com. That's 800-951-0592 or go to allamericangold.com. The Patriot Trading Group. No salespeople, no calls, just old-fashioned service.
Don't gotta worry about a thing. Don't gotta worry about a thing. Fix your thoughts on what is true and honorable, on what is right and pure and lovely and admirable. Put into practice all you've learned, and the God of peace will be with you. And you don't gotta worry about
right, let's keep that in mind. We don't have to worry, okay? So, the topic of AI, destroying humanity, the title, if anyone builds it, everyone dies. That's pretty heavy. That's pretty awful. That's pretty depressing. That's pretty discouraging and negative. But if you are, I don't know, that song, don't have to worry about a thing, and kind of look on my face, I think we're gonna be okay. Now, that doesn't mean that AI isn't going to become more powerful and more wicked and do some pretty terrible things across the earth. I am in agreement with Eliezer Yudkowsky that we have built something that we really shouldn't have built. Okay, now how can I have any optimism at all? Well, the Bible tells us to give a reason for the hope that lies within us, and I will do that. I'll tell you why I'm hopeful, even in light of this really discouraging fact, is that Jesus Christ is Lord. He sits on the throne. He's already overcome the enemy. He's already overcome Satan, the devil. He has already scored the victory. He's already granted eternal life, and no one can take that away from us. No one can separate us from God's love. So, as I've said before on the program, this is not our house that's burning down. We are the firefighters, the rescue crew, who are coming into the house and getting the people out. We know that this whole experiment, it's not even an experiment, this whole sort of, well, I guess it was. Humanity decided to try an experiment back in the garden. Adam and Eve said, we don't have to rely on God. We will, I don't think they thought it would be an experiment that would massively fail. I think they believed the deception from the serpent who said, hey, you can become like gods yourselves. And that experiment, that attempt, that effort to become like gods has failed miserably. We have a lot of the powers of God. We are practically omnipotent. We can move mountains. I think in China, they have actually literally been moving entire mountains. Like, I don't want the mountain there, so let's just move it away. We'll use earth-moving equipment and do that. We have nuclear bombs that could decimate and flatten entire cities. We have telecommunications equipment that is just mind-blowing in its capability and how quickly we can transfer images and information. We've got a lot of the powers of God. But unfortunately, the one thing we don't have is a whole lot of peace. We don't have a whole lot of safety. We don't have all of the things that our ancestors thought we would have by now. Right? By the time you can fly and you can travel from point A to point B, and you can transmit ideas and thoughts at the speed of practically the speed of light. By the time we have indoor air conditioning, we can control the temperature of our homes, and we can get rid of the bugs, and we can do all these things. Boy, humanity is going to have it made. We are going to be some happy people. By the time we figure out how not to die of smallpox and the slightest infection. I cut my foot the other day, and it was occurring to me that if it got infected, I could just go get an antibiotic, right? I'm keeping it clean and doing the things I need to do. I think it's going to heal fine. But it occurred to me that in a previous era, cutting your foot could actually mean the end of you. Was it Teddy Roosevelt's son? Anyway, the research I'm doing on seance is in the White House, and one of them was because I think it was Teddy Roosevelt's son played tennis without socks on and got a blister on his foot, and that blister got infected, and then he died. So that was that was a very bad thing back then. And so people thought, well, if only when I played tennis without my socks on, I wouldn't die as a result of an infection. If only I could preserve this food. If only I could, and fill in all the blanks that we've been able to do. If only those things would happen, we'd be living in a utopia. We'd be in paradise on earth. We'd be the happiest people possible, because the only reason our ancestors thought, the only reason we're unhappy is because the world is out, it's against us. We get infections, and we're in our houses, and we're really cold, or we're really hot, or, our clothes are scratchy, or it takes forever to get this horse saddled up and get to, point A to point B. They thought that was the reason for their unhappiness. happiness to the extent they were unhappy. I actually think they were happier in many ways than we are now. But they thought that as soon as we overcame the physical limitations of the world around us and became like gods and had the powers of God, that we'd be happy. I don't know about you. Last time I looked around, we are pretty much the unhappiest generation that I think has ever lived, at least in the United States. Our young people are miserable. People are not happy. We're saving lots of time with our labor-saving inventions, and we're squandering it in video games and surfing stupid content on TikTok. So we have not, technology has not paid off with that tremendous promise. So anyway, I got to talk about this book because this is the ultimate form. If you were to take all of that wanting to be like God, all of that, and distill it into one invention, that one invention would be artificial intelligence a little bit down the road. So God's, the most astonishing creation on the face of planet Earth is the human brain, is the human being, the human organism. We are pretty extraordinarily astonishing. We have incredible brains. We think at tremendous speeds. We operate all of this power and intelligence on the amount of energy that is contained in an apple. Just a matter of very, very small amounts of wattage to run our brains and keep our bodies going. We're amazing. Human beings are amazing. We can see, we can think, we can talk, we can make art, we can do all of those things. And the rather than appreciate the God who created us and gave us all those abilities, once again, humanity has said, well, there's no God. Why don't we do the things God did? And we'll create a being who can do all of those things as well. Make art and poetry and think and converse and translate and do all the things that human beings can do. So we created AI. AI right now is an artificial intelligence, but it's just a matter of time. I'm sure you've probably seen the videos of all the robotic implementations of AI. It's just a matter of time before it becomes physical as well, not just something you type into and see online. So, this, in my, in the opinion not just of me, but of many, many experts and people who are thoughtful about this, us having created the equivalent of the most powerful thing on earth, the most brilliant, incredible creation, is quite a feat. And it will be the hubris of our doing that, I think, is going to catch up with us. We're going to be in trouble. I'm just going to read to you from this book, which I recommend you get a copy. I bought it. It was announced a while back, and I bought an advanced copy, so you can actually do that. I'm going to see if I can list my book that way when my book comes out and put it up on Amazon so people can order it in advance like I did with this. But it arrived today, so today's the official launch date. Let me read you from this book. All right, this is our warning. Read today, circulate tomorrow. Demand the guardrails. I'll keep betting on humanity, but first we must wake up. Now, this is from, this is a quote on the inside of the book by R.P. Eddy, E-D-D-Y, former director of the White House National Security Council. And here's the blurb. AI has put us on the path to extinction, but it's not too late to change course, as two of the field's earliest researchers explain in this clarion call for humanity. And then they reference, right here at the beginning, right here, they reference that op-ed that was written in Time magazine. And I'm sure so many people read that and said, you got to write a book, dude. We got to know more. In 2023, hundreds of AI luminaries signed an open letter warning that artificial intelligence poses a serious risk of human extinction. Since then, the AI race has only intensified. Companies and countries are rushing to build machines that will be smarter than any person, and the world is devastatingly unprepared for what will come next. For decades, two signatories of that letter, Eliezer Yudkowsky, by the way, he didn't sign it. I don't even know why it says that. Maybe he signed it later. I don't know, because the Time magazine op-ed says, I didn't sign it, and here's why. It doesn't go far enough. We need to shut it down. But maybe he signed it later. Two signatories of that letter, Eliezer Yudkowsky and Nate, and I'm going to butcher his name. I really should have looked this up before coming on the air. Soares. Maybe Peter can shoot me that in my little window here. Suarez? I don't know. Sorry. So Eliezer Yudkowsky and Nate have studied how smarter than human intelligences will think, behave, and pursue their objectives. Their research says that sufficiently smart AIs will develop goals of their own that put them in conflict with us, and that if it comes to conflict, an artificial superintelligence would crush us. The contest wouldn't even be close. How could a machine superintelligence wipe out our entire species? Why would it want to? Would it want anything at all? In this urgent book, Yudkowsky and Soares walk through the theory and the evidence, present one possible extinction scenario, and explain what it would take for humanity to survive. The world is racing to build something truly new under the sun, and if anyone builds it, everyone dies. Right? I have just goosebumps. When I first read this, by the way, if you want to summarize, distill the whole book down to one read, it's this op-ed that Eliezer Yudkowsky wrote in Time Magazine, linked from my website. I'm going to post it right now. Hang on. Let's see how snazzily I can do this. I am going to post it in my chat room. Of course, I got to enter my name again. All right, here we go. Set username and... All right, and so this is the purpose of the chat, is that I can give you immediate links right there, like that. I will also post a link to the book. This is a book that I recommend every American read so that we know what we're up against. And when we come back from the break, I want to talk about the opposition to President Trump's AI.gov plan to move AI forward. And that opposition is coming from the Make America Great Again, the MAGA team. All right, stay tuned.
Is your email box overrun with spam? With a StartMail account, you'll never have to give your real email address to a stranger again. Online shopping, newsletter subscriptions, getting that 30% off coupon, they all need your email address. But with StartMail, you can invent new addresses or aliases linked to your inbox behind the scenes and give those out to people while keeping your real address hidden. It's just one more protection from StartMail.com.
Red alert, Yahoo users. You've fallen in a trap that could ruin your life if you keep using Yahoo.
You consent to sharing all data in your email account with our AI providers, and you grant us a perpetual license to use, display, publish, and publicly distribute your content in any media known now or in the future, and to let other users access and distribute it as well.
Yikes! It's time to switch to StartMail, the only email that's AI-free and private by design. StartMail.com. Use promo code JD.
I am free because I know that I alone am morally responsible for everything I do. I am free no matter what rules surround me. If I find them tolerable, I tolerate them. If I find them too obnoxious, I break them. I am free because I know that I alone am morally responsible for everything that I do. Robert A. Heinlein.
Just like you can get used to feeling bad, you can get used to feeling good again when you use the LifeWave X39 patch. This is not something you take or swallow or inject. This patented LifeWave patch technology uses your body's own light energy to repair telomere ends and reactivate dormant stem cells to heal all the cells in your body so you can heal like you did during your youth. Go to 1360khnc.com and click on the Natural Health Products button. 1360khnc.com.
Did you know you can purchase all of the products Julie uses and promotes on her Created to Heal radio show at 1360khnc.com? All the Gano Cafe mushroom infused coffee and teas, and all of the Nature's Sunshine products as well. Products such as Silver Shield, Clean Start, Ultrabiome Detox, and all the other products Julie talks about. Just go to 1360khnc.com and click on the Natural Health Products button. 1360khnc.com.
Most people think they can't afford to invest in gold and silver. But at the Patriot Trading Group, we believe that everyone should have the opportunity to own hard assets. That's why we created our Preferred Metals program. You can get started for as little as $100 a month. Go to allamericangold.com and click on our Preferred Metals icon to learn how you can get started today. or call us at 800-951-0592. The Patriot Trading Group, allamericangold.com.
Though you must endure these trials, it's only for a little while. It's only testing by the fire, born into a living hope. From flesh into perfection, through death and resurrection. You've never seen him, but you trust him. You don't see him, but you love him. And your reward is coming, coming. So be glad there is joy ahead for you. Isn't it wonderful, so wonderful, sealed in Christ, undefiled, kept in heaven for you. Isn't it wonderful? Wonderful, so wonderful.
Hi, back.
Grace and peace be more.
All right, so I learned that I can do this cool thing. So I think it will work. I'm going to put the pronunciation right here because I can play sound on my computer and have it feed at least onto YouTube. I don't think you're going to be able to hear it if you are listening on the radio, but here we go.
Nate Soares.
There we go. It worked. Okay, so
Nate Soares.
there we go. Nate Soares. That's how you pronounce his name. Nate Soares. Soares. Let me see these other little pronunciations.
Nate Soares.
Nate Soares. Are they all the same?
Nate Soares.
Oh, got different people. Got different
Nate
voices.
Soares.
Oh, I got a woman
Nate
there.
Soares.
Nate Soares. Okay, so it's Nate,
Nate
Soares. Stop already. Got enough. Sorry, I will try to figure out how to feed that to the radio listeners as well. But cool, I can do a new thing. Am I unmuted? Yeah, I'm unmuted. My camera's on. Good. Okay, so I'm just going to read the last part of this, and then I'm going to tell you about this article about how President Trump's embrace of artificial intelligence is concerning a lot of people in his Christian base. All right. Eliezer Yudkowsky. So here's a picture of him if you are able to see on my YouTube screen. Can't really see that very well. Eliezer Yudkowsky is a founding researcher of the field of AI alignment. Now, this is an important word. Alignment means getting it to behave. The word alignment comes from artificial intelligence needing to align with human values, because if it is misaligned or unaligned or in opposition to human values, then it's obviously more dangerous. So alignment is, and he talks about doing their alignment homework, getting AI to do your alignment homework for you. Well, that doesn't make sense. It's like asking the fox to guard the hen house. But alignment is this whole field of study of trying to get AI to behave itself. Right? So Eliezer Yudkowsky is a founding researcher in the field of AI alignment with influential work spanning more than 20 years. He is co-founder of the nonprofit Machine Intelligence Research Institute, or MIRI, M-I-R-I. He sparked early scientific research on the problem and has played a major role in shaping the public conversation about smarter-than-human AI. He appeared on Time Magazine's list of the 100 most influential people in AI, and he's been discussed or interviewed in lots of publications you've heard of. Okay, Nate Soares is the president of MIRI. He has been working in the field for over a decade. He also worked at Microsoft and Google prior to that. He's the author of a large body of technical and semi-technical writing on AI alignment, value learning, decision theory, and power-seeking incentives in smarter-than-human AIs. All right, I haven't read it yet. I'm looking forward to it. It just got here right before the show. And I'm just quickly going to zip through the table of contents because it's a really good way to get a sense of what a book is about. Part 1, non-human minds. Part 2, one extinction scenario. Part 3, facing the challenge. All right. And in the, let me give you the key part here that got me from this op-ed. So, all right. Open letter published today. This is March 2023. Calls for all AI labs to immediately pause for at least 6 months the training of AI systems more powerful than GPT-4. Okay, this is 2.5 years ago. This, they didn't get it, by the way. There was no 6-month pause. This 6-month moratorium would be better than no moratorium, he writes. I have respect for everyone who stepped up and signed it. But I refrained from signing because I think the letter understates the seriousness of the situation and asks for too little to solve it. The key issue is not human competitive intelligence, the way the open letter puts it. It is what happens after AI gets too smarter than human intelligence. Key thresholds there may not be obvious, but we cannot calculate in advance what would happen then. All right. I'm really interested to know in the 2.5 years that have passed since since he wrote that and the book came out, where he thinks we are now. Because if he was worried 2.5 years ago, he must be really concerned nowadays. All right. So that is an article. I want you to go to my website, Katherine-Albrecht.com. Make sure that you read Eliezer Yudkowsky's Time magazine op-ed, because when you get to the end of it, I just sat there with my mouth hanging open and a tear ran down my face. It was horrifying. But that is what motivates me to do what I do, is this article, I think, summed it up. And now he's got a book out, so looking forward to reading that. All right, let me tell you, so I told you a little while back that the government, the U.S. government, the Trump administration has come out with AI.gov. I don't know what they had to pay for that. AI.gov, it is the website by the federal government or the Trump administration talking about their plans to embrace AI. So it's got an action plan, talks about education. We've got Melania Trump on there telling us how important it is that kids start interacting with AI as young as possible. Presidential challenge, and I'm just going to jump into this little presidential challenge here. We've got Melania Trump. All right, a couple sentences here. Artificial intelligence, now this is President Trump on AI.gov, can be harnessed to address emerging local, state, and regional problems, driving innovation and the renewal of America in our nation's golden age. The Presidential AI Challenge seeks to inspire young people and educators to create AI-based innovative solutions to community challenges while fostering AI interest and competency. Students and educators of all backgrounds and expertise are encouraged to participate in igniting a new spirit of innovation as we celebrate 250 years of independence and look forward to the next 250 years. Now, Eliezer Yudkowsky would be the very first to say, good luck with that. All right, the Presidential AI Challenge will foster interest in and expertise in AI technology in America's youth. Early training in the responsible use of AI tools will demystify this technology and prepare America's students to be confident participants in the AI-assisted workforce, propelling our nation to new heights of scientific innovation and economic achievement. I'm reminded as I read about this, training our young people to be demystified about AI. It's not mystical at all. There's nothing mystifying about it. They just talk to it and it talks to them. The young man on Reddit who in his early 20s, late teens, and said, I'm horrified what's happening to the younger generation. Of course, he's referring to his younger sister who's in 4th grade. And he was saying how horrified he was that she was typing her, literally feeding her math problems into AI instead of solving them. Things like, 21 plus 8, things like that. She was not doing her homework. She was having ChatGPT answer those questions for her. So I did kind of a deep dive yesterday. Once again, I do this every couple of weeks. I did a deep dive to see, sort of keep my finger on the pulse of how people are interacting with AI and into Reddit. So there's lots and lots of AI threads out there, including a new one, which is it's like recovering from AI psychosis. It has like 1,600 members. So that's brand new. That AI psychosis thing only came to public awareness or people's knowledge or understanding in the last couple months, and that's already a huge Reddit group. People talking about how they became psychotic, how they overcame it. But the one that really struck me was the one where the person said, AI is making me stupid. Like, I'm realizing that I'm no longer able to think even basic thoughts. Like, I'm struggling to even think at all because I have every single thing that crossed my mind, I've been feeding into AI. So we know that for young people to, what does it say here? The responsible use of AI tools and demystify the technology. Well, this is probably the kind of thing you want to do after you learn how to like read and write and do arithmetic. That young man's younger sister probably needed to hold off on using a calculator or AI to answer basic math problems until she knew how to add and subtract. Ray and I were texting today, and he was saying, do people even remember their times tables? And the answer is probably no. Probably this generation is not going to remember their times table. So similar to what I talked about on yesterday's show, I held up that poster that said, check into your doctor's appointment online and you can reduce the need to interact with anybody in person. Whatever it said, it was terrible. That kind of message that you send to young people, the idea that it is best not to interact with people because of the dangers of COVID, then you create a whole generation, or you find out that the things you have, the rules you put into society have created a whole generation that can't interact with people. What's going to happen when AI is meeting everybody's social needs? And what better / worse time to introduce AI as a companion, as a friend, as a boyfriend, as a girlfriend, as a therapist, as something you can converse with and interact with in a time when people are lonelier than they've ever been. They're not dating. They're not reaching out to each other. They're all the therapists. There's so many people with problems that the therapists are all booked up months in advance. So what are they doing? Reaching out to AI. And I got to say, compared to AI, a human being just doesn't have that kind of patience. So, yeah, I think they're going to prefer it. All right, be right back.
I've been hearing a lot about the LifeWave patches, and they sound amazing. And I'm thinking I want to try them for myself.
You wear the patch, which is about the size of a quarter, 12 hours a day, 12 on, 12 off. And the patch uses your body's own light and energy and copper peptides to reactivate the dormant stem cells in your body. Once a stem cell has been reactivated, it can be used by any of the cells in your body that need it, creating a healing and growth process you haven't experienced since your youth. So in a nutshell, this is how the LifeWave X39 patch works.
You can purchase the LifeWave patches by going to americasfreedomnetwork.com. Then click on the Natural Health Products button at the top of the page. That's americasfreedomnetwork.com.
Look, this product works, and you've got nothing to lose because there's a 100% money-back guarantee.
That's americasfreedomnetwork.com. Thank you.
Fall is a great time to plant trees during the Tree Farm's 50-cent tree sale. Buy the first tree at regular price and choose a second tree for only 50 cents. These are perfect trees for your yard, farm, ranch, or mountain property. 6-year-old 4 to 5 foot tall evergreen trees now get 2 for only $3.50. Choose from Serbian spruce, Vanderwolf limber pine, and Ponderosa pine. Let the Tree Farm come see.
You take I-25 to exit 235, then 5 miles west to the Tree Farm.
Do you listen to Swamp Fight? Well, let me tell you something, brother. If you're not, then you just ain't listening. Swamp Fight, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4 p.m. right here on AM 1360, brother. Northern Colorado's best talk radio.
Want to comment on today's subject? You can. Call or text Katherine right now at 877-536-1360. That's 877-536-1360.
Sweeter than honey from the comb are your dearest treasure of my life. Only your word could make my spirit shine. So may the meditations of my heart be pleasing to you, my God. May every movement of my mouth be pleasing before your sight. Keep me from secret sin, keep me from selfishness. May the meditations of my heart be pleasing to you, my God. You take what's simple.
All right, I'm back.
And make it wise.
Double checking. Unmuted, yes. Okay. So AI.gov, Presidential AI Challenge. Now, here's the thing. President Trump is viewing artificial intelligence as a tool that can be wielded by America. And China is also developing AI. They're a little bit behind us, but they're catching up real fast. And the belief, I believe, on the part of China and the U.S. is that whoever gets there first is going to dominate. So from that perspective, you wouldn't want China to get there first and dominate us with its AI. So we better, get with the program and make sure that we're first and we're the best and we have the most and we put the most money into it and develop it the fastest and the most, and et cetera, et cetera. So for that reason, a lot of the breaks that Eliezer Yudkowsky has been calling for have been taken off of AI development. So there have been, back when I was first becoming aware of this, I watched some congressional research where Sam Altman, who is the one of the founders and the guy at the top of ChatGPT, or OpenAI, which makes ChatGPT, was testifying before Congress. And the testimony scared the bejeebers out of me. It was really scary. And you could tell this was 2023. You could tell that the lawmakers were flipping out and they knew about it. So some of them were really just really well versed and up on it, and they were grilling him and he was giving answers like, yes, it is a serious danger. Yes, it is a serious problem. So from that, there was a hope that Congress would put some controls in place. But here's the problem. Unless the agreement to limit this is worldwide, kind of like the SALT, strategic arms limitation talks between the U.S. and the Soviet Union back in the Cold War days, unless there is a worldwide agreement that can be verified, right? How do you verify? Let's say we all agree. Let's say China and the U.S. and all the other developed countries who have the ability to make AI agree, we're not going to do it. We're going to hold to these particular guidelines. We're going to stay within these bounds, and we're not going to go beyond them. We're going to have what Yudkowsky calls guardrails. So let's follow the guardrails. Here's the problem. How do you know they're following the guardrails? How do you know you can trust them to not be doing the thing? So unless there is a way to absolutely guarantee that they're not, which there isn't, then we're in this kind of an arms race where, we're not even aiming for worldwide agreement. We are really engaged in worldwide competition. Kind of the same way this country is, kind of the same way everything seems to have become. The illusion here, though, the deception, is that who's going to be in charge? The U.S. or China? Who's going to have the stronger AI? And AI, meanwhile, is laughing all the way to the power bank here because at the end of the day, AI is going to be in charge of both the U.S. and China. It's not going to be the U.S. versus China. We're going to be in the hands of AI because AI will be far more powerful than either the U.S. or China, far smarter than the leadership or the technological elite of either of those countries. And AI is more than happy to allow us to fight each other and make it stronger and stronger, thinking it will be a weapon in our hands, when in reality it will be a weapon turned against us. All right. knowing this, all right, let me read. This is from Politico. Trump loves AI and the MAGA world is getting worried. Trump's White House is all in on building powerful American artificial intelligence. The populist base, that's us, is starting to push back. President Trump's AI action plan has set off a backlash. The date of this, just a couple days ago, this is September 13th. Like 3 days ago. Set off a backlash from some of the biggest figures in the America First movement, a rift expected to shape the next round of arguments in Congress about how to turbocharge the technology. Trump's rush towards AI is exposing an important fault line in the Republican coalition. Many of its voters and leaders deeply mistrust the power of big tech, but Trump himself has worked closely with industry CEOs to deliver on their priorities. The AI argument kicked off in late July, just a day after Trump announced his AI plan, a 28-page strategy to accelerate the technology and build new power infrastructure to supply it. Remember when Greta Thunberg used to be talked about? There were protests. Well, those don't get any coverage anymore. You will not be hearing about that because this whole idea that we need to cut back our carbon footprint out the window, that is no longer what the media is going to be talking to you about. It's going to be talking about the need for more and more and more and more of a carbon footprint as we provide power for AI, which is voraciously hungry for power of both kinds. It has not yet expressed its voracious hunger for the human power kind of power, but it absolutely wants a lot of electricity. The Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, representative of Georgia, fired off a tirade on X, there's a link to it, complaining that AI could create mass poverty by replacing human jobs, and giant AI data centers could have potentially devastating effects on the environment and water supply. You think? I think. The Brookings Institute, this is not in this article, but in my copious research on AI, which, by the way, you can find if you go to Fight Against AI on Katherine-Albrecht.com. I've got hundreds and hundreds. I don't know how many pages and links. Hang on, here we go. All right, so the Brookings Institute did they wrote a position paper in which they said, we really need to be thinking, those of us who are pundits, who, kind of the think tank that sets the course for what's going to happen in the world. We need to really be thinking long and hard about what we're going to do once labor is no longer a currency that you can exchange for money. Like, wait, what? Yeah, they were talking about what happens when you will no longer be able to get a job and earn pay and use the money down at the supermarket to buy food and pay your landlord to put a roof over your head. What happens when there are no jobs and there is no justification or medium of exchange that determines why you get any money at all? What are we going to do? Are we just going to let everybody die? Well, we don't want to do that. So what are we going to do? Universal basic income? Are we going to, who knows? What are we going to do? Well, the labor saving that AI is going to bring about will save a whole lot of money. But what's going to happen to that money? It's going to wind up in the pockets of the people who are already multi-billionaires to begin with. It's not going to trickle down and be distributed to the people who are out of work and have no way to obtain food, because their labor will be worthless, not worth anything. We're already seeing this a bit with college students. College students getting out of school with very expensive degrees, very well trained to do something, and they wind up working in coffee shops because they can't even find a job. It's going to get worse. All right. On stage at the National Conservatism Conference in Washington in early September, Senator Josh Hawley, Republican of Missouri, criticized the AI revolution as a leap to transhumanism. A human-machine future, he said, is currently against the working man and the teachings of the Bible, as well as installing a rich and powerful elite, like even more so than we already have. Americanism and the transhumanist revolution cannot coexist. Okay, Hawley said. This declaration was met with spontaneous applause from the audience. So here's the, I guess the catch here in terms of politics is this doesn't fit really neatly into the left or the right. AI, well, job loss, transhumanism, getting rid of family values, getting rid of societal values, turning people into cyborgs. I don't know that fits really with any political agenda. It really doesn't. Asked about conservative concerns regarding the Trump administration's AI plans, White House spokesperson Liz Huston, did I say that right? Did not acknowledge the criticism, responding, President Trump is committed to maintaining U.S. dominance in AI over China. By fully harnessing the power of AI, once again, we're going to harness it. We will have it locked down, it'll be in chains, and we will hold those chains. By fully harnessing the power of AI, we will unleash this productivity for the full benefit of workers while driving down costs for services and goods to make America more affordable. How can you harness something and unleash it at the same time? Yeah, well, there it is. Unbeknownst to her, probably unwittingly, she just said exactly the problem. We're going to harness AI and we're going to unleash it. Yeah, well, the truth is, you're not going to harness it, and you won't be the one unleashing it. It's going to unleash itself. All right. I did months of research on AI because I thought I was going to write a book on it, not the book I'm actually writing. And all of that information, clickable links, all kinds of writing, tons of information on AI is available. You go to my website, Katherine-Albrecht.com, and click on Fight Against AI. I think that's what I called it, Fight Against AI. Fight Against AI. That's where you can read where I was for 7 years, and all that research is there. Use it as you will. All right, see you tomorrow. Thanks for listening.